In this video today, we're going to look at how to make an Oxinity activity. So the first thing we need to do is find our activities. So we'll come down on the left-hand side to the activities section, and we'll go to My Stock at the top. So here you can see all the activities that we've been assigned. We're just going to focus on this top one first, this topic. So I'll click here to open. Okay, so as you can see, this activity is totally blank, has nothing in it. And there's two things that are very important for when we're creating an activity. That's the level, so we can see this one is for a P4 adult, and the brief, what we're going to talk about. So here, this one is about interpersonal business communication, business presentations, and how to adapt your presentation to different size, audience, or demographic groups, how to turn negative comments into positive ones. So before I do anything else, I'm going to go away, do a bit of research, and come back and decide what I'm going to put into this activity. Okay, so I've gone away and I've planned everything that I'm going to include in my activity, and I know what I'm going to make this about. I've just included a plan of everything, and I've not actually put the information in yet, but this is a step you can skip. This is just for the purposes of this video. So every Oxinity activity needs at least 3 attachments. I've included 4 because that's what I need in this one. But to add an attachment, we click the plus here and then click the little pencil icon. I don't recommend using this video attachment addition, but I'll show you a different way of including a video in your activities. So jumping in and looking at the first one here, the engage stage. So I'm going to have a title here and some introductory questions to introduce our activity and get students thinking. I also think I like to quite use photos and videos to break things up, or maybe even a GIF to include for teachers and students. Just helps break up each attachment. So just a little note on using photos then. So multiple photos should be inserted and displayed vertically. Insert them after each other. Don't be clicking space to try and make it look nice on your screen, because teachers and students use different devices, so it won't be displayed the same. So it's very important to remember that. The minimum image size should be 300 pixels, any smaller, and you won't be able to see anything. So this is the students section here. If we click over to the teachers, you can see what the teacher will see. So this should be any notes, anything additional for them, how they should use each attachment, and any answers to questions, something that might not be obvious. If you've included any facts or something, you might want to include a source in this part. The next part then is looking at the stimulate part of an attachment. So here then we have, we're going to look at adapting presentations. So this would be, I'm going to break it down to age, size, and demographics. This will be the main body of my activity and what we're going to focus on. So I'll add the text in later, but here, this is what we're going to include in the teachers section. So any additional information that will be helpful for the teacher. And what's quite important is concept check questions and discussion questions. So for CCQs, we want between 3 and 5 questions, and these are for comprehension, to check the student's understanding of the text before we go any further. After that, then we've got discussion questions, so that's approximately 3 questions, and these are designed to get students talking, their opinions, their experiences, anything like that. So moving on to my continued part of the stimulate, I'm going to include a table. Here you can see that I've numbered each box in the table. This is very important for web classes and will help your classes flow more easily. And then at the bottom here, I'm going to include a video. This will be short, maybe no more than 2 minutes, and this will all be displayed for the students. Coming on to the teachers part here, I've broken it down here. So we have the table, so we might need any answers, any description of the pictures if it's not immediately obvious, and any useful information for the teacher. So any questions, any notes on the target language, a different direction they could maybe take this attachment in. It just depends on how you structure your activity. The video, we can CCQ that as well, so some small questions afterwards if you like, and also some notes on the video, because sometimes you might not want to play it for the whole duration. So when to start, when to stop, when to skip the video too. Okay, just wrapping up the activity then, and the final part, this is going to be focused on turning negative comments into positive ones. I'm going to insert a photo afterwards. And for this part, I just want to start with a bit of discussion to get students talking about negative comments, about if they have any strategies for this. And then I'm going to insert a small text just looking at that here in this part. And then to wrap the activity up, we've got a role play task. So I'm going to give them a list of criticisms and they're going to do a role play. So one student will read them out and the other student will then turn this into a positive comment. And they're going to change throughout, change roles. And I've included some notes on this here, so anything for the teacher. And in the role play, we want to include the rules of how the task is done. Anything that gives the teacher a bit more guidance of how to use the activity. And remember, these activities can be used in classes of 1-to-1 or up to 5 people. So you need to leave some notes on how to adapt this for a class. So coming out of here then, just finally looking at this, 3 important parts are the objective, the introduction, and the wrap-up. The objective needs to be clear and succinct, what the aim of the activity is, what students are going to get out. This is for the teacher, so they know what the students are going to get from this activity, so they can decide whether to use it in their class, whether it would be helpful for that student. The introduction, so this will be 3 questions that you will ask the student at the start of the activity, and this is to engage them, engage prior understanding of their knowledge, see if they have any experience with this. And then the wrap up, again, 3 questions minimum to finish the activity and check understanding of the target language. Any questions just to tie this activity up. And then any notes you want to include, any sources to articles, any further reading, any extra videos for something outside of the class. And at the bottom we'll also include some target language. So this will have the name of the target language, a picture, the dictionary definition, an example, and a small audio for students. Now I want to include a table in my activity, so I'm going to come here to the pencil, click where I want the table to go, and come up here to this table button. So I want my table here to have 2 rows and 2 columns, and we can leave it as it is. So we'll click OK and the table will be inserted. I'm just going to include some numbers on my table so I don't forget. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm also going to make the table slightly bigger, so I'm going to drag each different part of the table to make the boxes a bit bigger. And we can click Save, and that's how you add a table. Okay, so this time I want to insert a picture into my activity. So I'm going to click where I want the picture to go, and then I'm going to click the little photo button here. And then I'm going to go to Upload, Choose File. And I'm going to choose the appropriate picture, so this one, click Open, and then send it to the server. And your picture will appear here. If you double click the photo, it can bring up here to edit. So here I'm going to set the width, it's about 400 pixels, and the height will adjust anyway. Make sure this is clicked, so this will keep it all in perspective and won't distort the size of your picture. And if we just come down and click OK. So that's how you add a photo into an activity. Okay, so now I want to insert a video into my activity. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go over to YouTube. It has to be a YouTube video. I'm going to copy the video URL by right-clicking, come back onto the activity section, click the pencil, go down to where I want the video to be. So I want mine here. Click the little video button here. Copy the URL and click OK, and you can see the video has gone in, so I will save, and this will be saved in here, and you can click play to start your video. So now I want to add some target language to my activity, so we're going to do that by coming on the main page and clicking the plus button, and one piece of target language I want to include, for example, will be presentations. See it here, and we have a list of ones that are already on the system. If not, you can create your own, but it will tell you in that case. So here we'll click presentation, and we have some different definitions that have been added before. So we can choose the most appropriate one. I'm going to pick this one, and an example here. So we have some examples. If you don't like any of the examples given, we can click the plus button on any of these to add a new one. And these photos have been uploaded before. The photos can be uploaded in the same way as they're uploaded onto the main activity portion. It's just running through this menu and clicking this plus instead. And then we want some audio. So I listened to these earlier and I know that this one is the best piece of audio. So when you've finished, we just click the X up here and you have your target language.